This episode is brought to you by Experian. Are you paying for subscriptions you don't use, but can't find the time or energy to cancel them? Experian could cancel unwanted subscriptions for you, saving you an average of $270 per year and plenty of time. Download the Experian app. Results will vary. Not all subscriptions are eligible. Savings are not guaranteed. Paid membership with connected payment account required.
Hi, this is Rob Benedict.
And I am Richard Spate. We were both on a little show you might know called Supernatural.
It had a pretty good run, 15 seasons, 327 episodes.
And though we have seen, of course, every episode many times, we figured, hey, now that we're wrapped, let's watch it all again.
And we can't do that alone, so we're inviting the cast and crew that made the show along for the ride. We've got writers, producers, composers, directors, and we'll of course have some actors on as well, including some certain guys that played some certain pretty iconic brothers.
It was kind of a little bit of a left field choice in the best way possible.
The note from Kripke was, he's great, we love him, but we're looking for like a really intelligent Duchovny type.
With 15 seasons to explore, it's going to be the road trip of several lifetimes. So please join us and subscribe to Supernatural then and now.
Oh, hey, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome to the intro. We're going to tell you as many things as we possibly can in the most compact capsule of information that we can possibly manage. Buckle up. We're going to kick it off with the results of last episode's Sexual Tension Awards. This would be for Fallen Angel. So sad to see in the fourth slot with 8% of the vote, Mulder and Colonel Calvin Henderson, who I would argue had something special. Even more disappointing, in third place, it's NICAP and MF Luter with 17% of the vote. MF Luter deserved better. Mm-hmm. Justice for MF Luter, as I always say. In second place, with a mere, measly, scant 19% of the vote, it's Fox Mulder and the enigmatic Dr. Scully.
People are thirsty, Jenny. People are thirsty.
People are thirsty, and the drink that they ordered is little ice cubes of themselves, buoyantly bobbling in a nice, tall, cool glass of Mulder in his wire-rimmed glasses and his little polo shirt unbuttoned. 57% of the vote. Congrats to all of us, and also Mulder.
I never thought that I would hear sex referred to as buoyantly bobbing, but here we are, you know?
Well,
bobbling? I think you might have even said bobbling.
Yeah, I meant bobbing. I said bobbling. I've been watching a lot of baseball, and when
don't bobble
they don't quite catch the ball, they bobble it. They're always talking about balls getting bobbled, and you know what? That could kick off its own Sexual Tension Awards series for Nesson's coverage of the Boston Red Sox, but we'll leave that for another day.
Hey, this episode that you're about to hear, a little episode called Eve, was recorded live. I was in Maine sitting next to Jenny when this episode was taped. And if you got to see the live recording, you will know that Jenny touched my shoulder a minimum of 400,000 times. We cannot underestimate the power of the visual watch on this. And it means so much to us, in fact, that we have re-released the tickets to this live recording. This live recording is broadcasting for 3 more days right now until 11:59 p.m. Eastern time on Friday, June 30th. If you want to see what it looks like when Jenny touches my shoulder, it's there for you. If you want to see the graphics that go up every time you hear us say daddy and exsanguinated, that is there for you. If you want a Frank cam, there for you.
Just something about this episode. There was something in the air. The stars aligned. Mm-hmm. We were positively unspooling. And I feel like the visual really adds an extra added enhancing component to the experience.
Enhanced by 10, for sure. Also, special guest inside of this episode, Max Collins of Eve 6. You will hear our interview. What a delight to talk to Max about the naming of the band Eve 6 after this episode of television. If you want to see us talking, see us fucking around, seeing us saying smug bitch a bunch of times, you can go to bufferingcast.com/stream. Again, 3 days and that's it. That's it. Just 3 days. You got 3 days to decide if you would like to see the chaos or not.
Okay, now that we've finished talking about the possibility that you could watch us on a glowing screen, what if I told you you could also watch us with your naked eyeball in the same room as us whilst we do a couple of live tapings? Well, friends, your time has come. Saturday, September 9th, we will be in Boston at Arts at the Armory covering Darkness Falls, and Sunday, September 10th in Brooklyn, New York at the Bell House covering Tombs. It is the 30th anniversary of the X-Files, if you can believe it. Limited VIP tickets are available. They include a gorgeous screen-printed poster signed by us, and in Boston, there'll be a pre-show hangout. In Brooklyn, there'll be an after-party where we'll be dancing to 90s music and debating the existence of extraterrestrials. You can get tickets and information and everything that you desire, I think, in life at bufferingcast.com/live, or my preference of URL, bufferingcast.com/ and then 30 X's in a row. Just 30 X's. Thank you.
We have some schedule changes. Listen, we were supposed to air the next episode, Fire, next week. We are actually going to air this on July 19th. Now, before you get a frown, please, well, I guess you have to get the frown if you're going to turn it upside down. So turn it upside down, because we're going to be airing 4 episodes in a row to make up for that extra week away. So we'll be back in the main feed July 19th with our coverage of Fire. And if you're a patron of ours, of course, you can catch us covering Buffy Season 8. We're covering a whole bunch of comics from the Predators and Prey issue of Buffy Season 8. And that'll be up in the Patreon feed on July 12th. All details, as always, about the live shows, about the podcast schedule can be found at bufferingcast.com/Jenny Calendar. Jenny, one last thing before we go over into the episode. We asked folks about Hellmath, right? A couple people said what I kind of thought myself, which is Hellmath is just Hellmath. And I don't even care that we're in outer space. It's Hellmath, you know? But then we got some suggestions. Billy wrote in and suggested Spookulous.
Ooh.
Rebecca, this one made me fucking guffaw. Rebecca suggested cigarette smoking math. Hell yeah, Rebecca. Someone with the Twitter name Spineless Prickly Pear. Mulder, it's math. Very good.
Fair.
And then L on Discord and literally 8 million other people suggested what I think might be the winner if we're moving away from Hellmath and into wanting to believe. Solve for X. Solving for X. I think that's it, Jenny.
Beautiful.
You know what this means?
What does it mean?
It means you have to write a jingle.
Oh, yay.
So now you're on the hook for Solve for X and Enhance. You've got 2 jingles that we're waiting for.
Yeah, I've got my work cut out for me.
You better get to work. In the meantime, let us get back to work over in Maine a couple of weeks ago in Jenny's studio, being absolutely wild with a couple of cups of whiskey.
Indeed.
Are you Sally Kendrick?
That's not my name. But she's me and I am her, and we are all together.
Did you work for the Luther State Center for Reproductive Medicine in 1985?
In 1985? I'd been tied up like this for 2 years, and for what reason? No reason. I did nothing. I'm just me.
Welcome to the X-Files. That's the eX-Files, a buffering rewatch adventure where we're watching and discussing every episode of the X-Files, one by one, spoiler-free. I am Jenny Owen Youngs, ex-wife of Kristin Russo, and I grew up watching the X-Files.
And I am Kristin Russo, ex-wife of Jenny Owen Youngs, and I have only seen 11 episodes of the X-Files. Today we are talking about Season 1, Episode 11, Eve.
Eve was written by Kenneth Biller and Chris Brancato, directed by Fred Gerber, and originally aired on December 10th, 1993.
Just 7 days before my 13th birthday.
Wow, that means the next episode is probably going to be on your birthday.
Fire? And I'm a fire sign. Oh my God, is it about Sagittariuses? Okay, I'll get there in my crystal ball.
I wonder if that guy's a Sagittarius. We'll get there.
This is the one, according to IMDb, where Mulder and Scully search for two missing girls who disappeared after their fathers were murdered in an identical fashion. I'm sorry, it took everything in my body for me not to say exsanguinated, but I didn't, so.
Oh, you didn't? Sorry, my mistake.
Yeah, I didn't. Take it back.
Producer LaToya Ferguson gives this episode a scary rating of 3 out of 5. Tender hearts in a blender. LaToya let us know she just learned the band Eve 6 got their name from this episode. Do you want to get into the ratings challenge?
Listen, LaToya just had a lot to say, and it all ended with, if you don't agree with my rating on this episode, it's actually Rishi's fault. So I don't even want to...
Yeah, without getting the stuff in the middle. LaToya sometimes feels, I think... because she's so thoughtful and meticulous, she feels the need to justify her ratings to us. But we're actually just here for her ratings.
Well, that's not true, because I did challenge a rating of hers in the past.
I would never challenge LaToya.
She said
because
that
she
Poltergeist
already
got a 1, Jenny. A 1 for Poltergeist.
They don't do it for her, and I respect that. Listen, if she called you little Kristin, you probably wouldn't challenge her either.
That's true.
What would she call me if I started challenging her?
Teeny tiny Jenny.
Mm-hmm.
Jenny's really taking advantage of being in the same room with me. I don't think she's ever put her palm on my shoulder in a business-like fashion so much. Just a lot of this.
Yeah.
That's how you know we're together.
Oh, boy. Kristin.
Jenny. Oh, my God. Can we set... Okay, sorry. You were going to talk.
No,
I just want to...
Why would that ever stop you?
Yeah, that's true. Can we... You showed one of the graphics that we have today.
Yeah, that's right.
Can you show them the other graphics so everyone knows...
So everyone's prepared?
Prepared, what we're keeping track of?
Yeah, what we're keeping track of and when you should drink whatever you're drinking.
Whatever you're drinking. Your lemonade, your whiskey, what have you.
Yeah, here's the other key word from today's episode.
Yes,
It's daddy.
There is a point in this episode of The X-Files where I believe that daddy is said more times in a shorter span of time than ever recorded in television history. I haven't done the research, but I'll note it when we get there.
Okay, yeah, just a reminder, at this point, Kristin has not seen any episodes of Red Shoe Diaries.
Everybody keeps bringing up I was literally talking to Joanna Robinson on the way here, and Joanna Robinson was like, so, have you heard of the Red Shoe Diaries?
Yeah.
And I was like, God damn it. Okay, so let's get into this. We open in Greenwich, Connecticut. What do you think of when you think of Greenwich, Connecticut?
Well, Kristin, I went to SUNY Purchase in Purchase, New York, which actually abuts Greenwich, Connecticut.
Okay.
My campus touched Greenwich, Connecticut. I worked in Greenwich, Connecticut at an Italian restaurant. And I sometimes, if things were very busy, I would wait tables and also deliver at the same time.
Wow.
And let me tell you, there are some big houses in Greenwich, Connecticut.
There it is.
My favorite thing was that the guy, the heir to the Elio's pizza fortune, would come get our pizza.
Oh my God. And lived in Greenwich?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Greenwich, I used to work at a hedge fund, as you know. And when I think of Greenwich, I think of a lot of the trader guys that worked at the hedge fund. They would come in from their house in Greenwich.
Right. If I were you, every time I said I used to work at a hedge fund, I would say, but not in a rich way.
Yeah.
Just to be super clear.
I was the receptionist and a personal assistant. But I mean, I was still richer then than probably I'll ever be again in my life. But yeah, Greenwich is a very rich place. So we open in Greenwich at a big house. LaToya has 2 notes. Producer LaToya Ferguson, of course, has 2 notes for us, both involving white nonsense. And this is the first one. The opening scene, says LaToya, is white nonsense. That couple coming up to that creepy little girl with her big ass stuffed bunny could not be me. These 2 joggers see Tina.
Yeah. Did you happen to notice that this, I assume, husband and wife are wearing like the same outfit and have the same haircut?
Yeah, I know that I bring up Todd and Margot from Christmas Vacation a lot, but they
at least have very different hair. These 2, it's like in an episode about clones. This is how you're gonna kick it off.
Oh my God, do you think the neighbors are clones too? Yeah, they're very concerned because it's kind of chilly and this little girl is standing at the end of the driveway and they go up. There's some weird dialogue in the scene where Tina says, he told me he needed some time for himself. And the neighbor says, I'd say his time is up. What? Anyway, we go to the backyard. Dad Joel is on the swing set.
Oh, yeah. Never approach an unmoving man with his head slumped to the side on a swing set if he's facing away from you, because most likely when you get there, you will discover 2 puncture wounds on his neck and a very obvious gray makeup on his face that very clearly ends right at the jawline, below which he is live and pink.
So if you exsanguinate someone, it doesn't come out of their face more than the rest of their body? Is that what you're saying?
I wouldn't think so.
Tina screams. It's not a great scream, but the next one, she has a good scream and a not great scream. The scream medium on the Kristin ranking. I have so many questions, and I don't know if I should ask them now or later. But I know that our hot button word here is exsanguination. Mm-hmm. I don't actually understand that part at all about these 2 fathers. So, do you?
You're saying, what is your precise question?
My question is, Tina, we learned that Tina and her clone they killed their fathers because they belonged to no one. They were not born, they were created, etc. Mm-hmm. They killed their fathers using a poison.
Paralytic.
But why did they take all the blood out of their fathers' bodies? Where is the blood? What happened to the blood?
We don't... What happened to the blood is it pumped out of the body. Mulder will explain it to you in just one short scene from now.
I guess I'll wait.
But as far as their motives, like, I don't know if that's where you're eventually headed, because, like, okay, they want to get away from their parents.
Sure.
They want to find each other, question mark. They want to find the other Eves, question mark.
Sure.
Then why so many other things that we're going to discuss as they occur. But
right, and
maybe we should ask the big questions of why at the end after we've gotten through all the stuff.
Okay, but also just everyone in the chat is also saying, where did the blood go? Which is another one of my questions. Thank you, everybody in the chat.
Oh, right. Like, where did it actually go?
What did they do with all the blood?
Yeah, why isn't it under him?
We also started the whole episode. We didn't talk about our big feelings. What are your big feelings on the episode Eve from X-Files?
You would not have believed how loudly my jaw hit the floor when I looked up the stuff for the intro, like the details for our episode intro, and discovered that this was not a Wong and Morgan episode.
Oh.
In my memory, it's all them. But no. However, as you enlightened me...
Oh, yeah, this is good, you guys.
Tina and Cindy are named after James Wong and Glenn Morgan's wives. What a beautiful tribute. Find yourself a man whose coworker will name a creepy clone twin child after you.
That's pretty fun, don't you think? I would like a creepy twin named after me. I thought this was a very fun episode.
If you're planning on having creepy twins, please consider naming them Kristin and Jenny.
I enjoyed this episode, as we will talk about when we go through beat by beat. There's
this episode rips. Yeah. Sorry, that's my biggest thought.
Okay, it's really fun. It's a really, really fun episode. The twins are creepy as fuck. Also, you cannot find these girls, their sister, so they are twins, clearly, and they have a sister, and their sister is some like famous YouTuber called like Glam It Up or something like that.
Glam for you,
number 4. but they're nowhere to be found, which in my opinion is its own X-Files. So if you have seen either one of these two twins, let us know. But I think that they do a great job. I think the direction is fucking great in this episode. LaToya had that note as well. Very, very cool direction. There's some stuff at the end that gets a little funny to me, but I'm like totally down for it. I'm totally down because overall, very fun, very good. An episode that gives us no aliens and is notably the first time that Mulder has posited that it's aliens, and it in fact is definitely not aliens.
Well, unless they're working with the aliens and we just didn't get a chance to see it.
Jenny throws her file down on the desk.
Ever heard of the blood-supping alien, Kristin?
Ever heard of the IVF alien?
Yeah.
Okay. So we like the episode.
We like the episode.
The Eves are creepy.
Oh, yeah. So good.
And here we go. After we get this scream, Tina says, "Daddy!" First daddy. Please, somebody keep a tally. I counted 10, but I could be wrong. This is 1.
Yeah. And then the neighbor holds her and she turns her head and looks back at her daddy again and says, "Daddy."
Oh, so there's 2.
Yeah.
2 daddies. Okay. Great.
There's a yell and a mew. Mew?
Mewed, M-E-W? Mew? Like a cat?
Yeah.
So we go to the credits. We go to the J. Edgar Hoover building. And Scully, the medical doctor that she is explaining that 75% blood loss is over 4 liters of blood. Kristin is in the back of the room saying, "But where is it? Where did it go?"
I'd never heard the word hypovolemia before.
What does it mean?
Death by, I'm assuming, blood loss.
Isn't that just another word for can you be exsanguinated without dying?
I think exsanguination is the draining, but it's not like a diagnosis, verdict, cause of death.
Verdict. It's not a medical verdict. So we learn that this girl was 8 years old. She doesn't remember anything at all. She was only away from her dad's side for 10 minutes, and there were 2 small puncture wounds in the jugular of this man.
The fact that Mulder does not one time suggest vampires, I'm so mad. I'm so mad.
How does no one, even Scully jokingly even Scully would have made a joke about a vampire.
Right? Where's the...
It's like they know we're watching and they're just like negging us, you know?
and I don't like it. And it doesn't feel good.
Guess what, Jenny? We get something really important.
What is that?
It's a fucking slideshow. Mulder has a slideshow.
Are you at all familiar with the phenomenon of cattle mutilations?
I actually was familiar with the phenomenon of
Me too.
Cattle mutilations. This is a real thing.
Don't you wish that you would come over to my house like you are right now, and the first thing that would happen is I would dim all the lights, turn on the projector, and show you a bunch of pictures of mutilated cattle?
I mean, like, you...
For work?
You don't do that exactly, but honestly, it's not that far away from real life with Jenny Owen Youngs.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
So yeah, he...
Dude, I wrote, "This is Mulder foreplay."
Yeah, I literally was about to say, he sexily shows Scully a bunch of dead cows.
If you know what I mean.
People screaming in the chat, "Update the abacus." Listen, I update the abacus, so I can't do both at the same time, but don't panic. I will update the abacus for that slideshow. Okay, so Mulder, what do you think Mulder thinks it is? Aliens.
Of course, Mulder thinks it's aliens. He does say exsanguination. And then he describes the process. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
And also, any medical doctors in the chat, please speak up if this is accurate or not. It sounds like almost accurate. You know what I mean? He says, if you were to stick a needle in the jugular of any living creature, the heart itself would act as a pump.
Well, it does. It would pump some stuff out, but all of it?
Right. But all of it? Who knows? I mean, would he have had to be like lying on his back or something?
Please turn on your attendant call light if you are a doctor. Please.
Did I tell you? I think I did tell you. The last time I flew, they called for a doctor over the PA, the pilot did, or a flight attendant, I guess. And like every frigging light went on. It was like ding, 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 ding. I was
like a doctor convention.
I was on my way to LA and there was a doctor convention. And all these times, so like 30 people all went to the front of the plane, including the woman who was like sitting right next to me.
Do you think that they knew and they just played a prank? They were like, dude, go on the PA.
We do this every year for the convention, actually.
Wow, what an incredible plane to need medical attention on.
Yeah, I was like, ugh, if it has to happen to me one time in my life, I wish it would have been this plane.
Okay, so Scully is like, why would aliens want to mutilate cows? Which I feel like is a silly question. And Mulder answers it like it's kind of silly. Because like clearly to do research, the same reason that we do bad things to animals, right? It's like there's research. They're trying to figure things out. So clearly they just want to know like how a cow works.
But I don't know. I
Cows,
feel like
how do they work?
I feel like small branches could grow off of the tree of the central question that like would maybe add heft to Scully's inquiry. Like when I started this sentence, I had a very cool point that you were going to love.
I know
like,
what it
why
was.
Cattle?
Oh, I thought your point was going to be like, if aliens could get all the way fucking here, right? Like, like just eons beyond us, would they really need...
Kristen's assuming they're very far away. They wouldn't be like from around here.
But like if they could do things that we clearly could not do, why would they need to like slice and dice a cow? Like I could get behind it if that was your argument, but
want to.
Anyway, Mulder is like for research, right? Mm-hmm. All right.
Okay.
So let's go to the Social Services Hostel in Greenwich, Connecticut. Listen, if I could have found a purple trench coat, I would have.
They each wear at least 2 different trench coats in this episode.
Yeah. Scully's is fucking purple. It is great. Okay, here's the moment, Jenny. Do you want to read it? Did you write them all down?
I don't know.
Go ahead.
What'd you write?
Say what you were going to say, and then I'll get to mine.
Well, I was going to say, okay, they come in to talk to Tina.
Mm-hmm.
Scully's approach is, I know you must be feeling sad right now and scared. Mulder's approach is, nice bunny, Tina.
Yeah. Okay, I would like to read to you, please ready your trigger finger.
Oh, yeah, I'm ready.
I would like to read to you what Scully says to this smug bitch, as I refer to her, to Tina in my notes.
The child.
She is a smug. She is like, I'm going to kill you later. Okay, Scully says, I know you must be feeling scared, but we want to know what happened so we can find out who hurt your daddy. Any strangers with your daddy? Anyone yell at your daddy? Or did your daddy yell at them? Can you think of anyone who might want to hurt your daddy? She says, daddy, 5 times. 5 times in like under 30 seconds, maybe a minute. Please show me any footage of anyone in the universe saying daddy, except for me recording this podcast in a shorter span of time. Yeah?
Rebecca in the chat said, of the 2 of them, Scully is daddy. You are not wrong, Rebecca.
Shout out to daddy of the pod, LaToya Ferguson. Okay. So I have another question. I know you don't like when I ask questions, but
me?
Yeah.
That's not true.
So this smug, can I just call Tina the smug bitch from now on? Is that rude because she's a child? Is that, will I get in trouble?
No, go
will
ahead,
I get
go
canceled if I call Tina a smug bitch? This smug bitch is like, there was red lightning. It all went dark. The men from the clouds were after my dad. Does she know? Did she pull the file on Mulder? Like,
she looked into the mirror because she was like, I haven't met up with my clone yet, so I'm just gonna have this interaction with my reflection. Tosses a file down. Ever heard of this guy at the FBI called Fox Mulder? He's really into alien shit.
Like, she literally
How does she have his number?
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, I know they're really smart and they're really strong and all the other stuff, but like, how does she know that Mulder wants to hear about aliens? Everyone is just saying the number 4, and I have no idea why, because you're all on a lag from us. So something was 4.
Oh, yeah. Did you know that Mulder then asks her what the men from the clouds wanted with her daddy. And
the quickest flash of
and
daddy.
she says they wanted to exsanguinate him.
Oh my God, a double fucking whammy. Guess I got a drink for that.
Yeah, I guess we both got a drink for that.
All right, Scully gets a call. There's been another exsanguination. It's across the country. It's in Marin County. I know how to pronounce that, Jenny, because this is the birthplace of Joanna fucking Robinson. Did you know?
I did.
Yeah, we're friends with Joanna, so it's not a big deal. So they have like the same swing set. They basically get to this house and they're like, this is a mirror image.
How did these smug bitches manipulate their parents into having identical yards and the same swing set?
That's what I'm saying. Like, how are their homes the same?
Kristin.
Yes.
A bigger mystery?
Uh-huh.
How does medical doctor Dana Scully not know about time zones, Kristin?
She's like,
Dana Scully just found out about Pacific Standard Time.
She's like, the first thing they teach you in the FBI is not time zones. That's true. They were only 3 hours apart. Mulder's like, Scully, that's the same. It was the same time.
If anything, Scully should be time zone splaining to Mulder.
Yeah.
Please.
But also, like at this moment, so she didn't know about time zones. Hilarious. And then Scully's like, Scully is a full Mulder in this moment. Scully's like, it appears we have 2 serial killers working in tandem. Okay.
However, the world's greatest serial killer profile has something to say about this, which is that serial killers rarely work together, and when they do, they kill together, not separately.
Yeah. Creepy. Did you just see the way that she looked into my eyes when she said that? Mulder says, even money. What a phrase. Even money that this other girl will remember red lightning. I mean, honestly, and she will, because these little smug bitches are talking to each other through the clouds. You know what I'm saying? So so we go back to the social services hostel where, okay, is it Sally on both coasts? Sally coast to coast? Or is it does Eve 8 get involved at any point before the end?
I don't think so. I think Sally Kendrick
It's
is
just Sally.
working by herself. Wait. Yes. Kidnapping one at a time.
Yes. So
there we go.
So Sally.
So many clones.
So we don't know it's Sally, right? We see Tina. She's scared. She gets out of bed. She hears something. She knows how to put the chair right under that door. There's a loud banging, which no one hears. She hides under the bed. I wonder why she knows what the other one, Cindy? Mm-hmm. I wonder why she knows what Cindy is thinking all the time, but she doesn't, like the parent Eves don't know. Like, you know what I mean? Wouldn't she know that this was Eve Sally? I call them Eve Sally, Eve Tina. Eve.
Well, Kristin, as Eve Sally will tell us later, it seems that these two are accelerated in their development. So maybe that's something that, you know, they have
like
to
disjointed them from the original batch. Well, Eve Sally grabs her. This is where Tina gets great horror scream notes from me, Kristin Russo. This is a great scream.
Oh yeah, okay.
It's pouring rain outside, and the bunny is left behind. This is how we know it's trouble for our tiny Tina.
In Fairfield County, Connecticut, does the foster home have a door that opens onto the balcony in your bedroom?
In the social services. Oh no, you're an orphan. Here's your lanai. They're rich.
Olympic-sized swimming pool surrounded by tiki lanterns. It's very lush.
Okay. Scully tells Mulder that Tina was taken by someone. I wish that we had kept track of the amount of times that anyone on this show says someone or something. And that's what Mulder says.
Sorry, I just want to mention that dropped and abandoned in the rain.
Mm-hmm.
Tina's bunny.
I know, I said that already.
Oh, I also just want to point out that sometimes I don't listen to you when you talk.
Cool. Great. Sure. That's fine. I love that.
But it's only because I'm thinking about touching your shoulder. Yeah. So I'm distracted.
As connected as the Eve twins are, is as disconnected as we are. We don't even hear each other when we speak to each other.
Kristin, it's too warm in this room. It's
really warm, but you have like a cool jacket or shirt and tie, and I don't. So I'm keeping my trench on.
Oh, okay. But
let me wait for you to stop making all your damn noise over here. Jenny drank. Her whiskey is almost gone, so welcome to the rest of your life.
Hell yes.
Scully's hair looks fucking fantastic in this entire episode.
Oh,
it looks so good. I feel like they have figured it out, and I hope that they stay here. Okay, so they go to the door of the house because this child is home now, and fucking it's Tina. But it's not.
Yeah, except
Jenny finished her whiskey and is chewing on the ice.
Let me live, woman.
Oh, so close.
Did you notice that Mulder uses the shave and a haircut knock at the door? But sadly, and I know that something inside of him dies when this happens. No answer.
Does he just
two bits?
So he just does
a shave and a haircut.
Oh. Okay.
Dude.
Yes, please. I would like to talk about it as well. Go ahead.
So the girl answers the door. We're all like, that's Tina. But no, she's like, I'm Cindy Reardon. Mulder says, do you live here, Cindy? And Cindy says, and this is how I answer every question always anyone ever asks me.
Me too.
Ever since I was born 8 years ago. Ever since I was born 8 years ago.
I mean, like, it is pretty funny for everyone except maybe you, who start every podcast by telling us how many days before whatever. But you are closer to this.
People are always like, Jenny, do you have blue eyes? And I say, yes, I do. Ever since I was born 41 years ago.
Oh my God, I just realized why everyone is saying numbers in the chat. It's every
the shoulder
time
touch.
you touch my shoulder.
Yeah.
Okay, yes. She's lived there ever since she was born 8 years ago. Cut to commercial. We like this show, just to be clear.
Oh my God, we love this show, especially this episode.
It's great.
We're having a blast.
Cindy is watching television, but she fucking hates cartoons.
Yeah, she's like, eek the cat, no thanks. I'd like CNN, please.
She's like a smug bitch, watches CNN. Thank you very much. Mrs. Reardon says that she was someone's little girl. Whose little girl was it, Jenny?
Wait, what? It was Daddy's little girl.
This fucking bitch.
Sorry, I got distracted because Mrs. Reardon walks in. Okay, Mulder and Scully are watching with, I don't know, bemusement as Cindy switches from Eek the Cat to some politics stuff. And then Mrs. Reardon walks into the kitchen holding 3 coffee mugs that she just went somewhere else in the house to get.
They were right on the edge.
And then, exactly, that she pours 3 cups of coffee all the way to the tip top, as you do.
And then just like stomps her feet a bunch of times to see what might happen to the coffee. Okay, so we learn that Cindy was not adopted because clearly they're like, these must be twins, right? They must be like separated at birth twins. Heard of those before.
Scully just coarsely leaping in. Is she yours?
Scully's like, show me the fucking receipts. Like, no bedside manner.
Can I see your stretch marks?
Yeah. They show Mrs. Reardon a photo of Tina with her dad, which, like, explain this to this poor woman. Explain this. Don't just show, because the woman is like, is that the man that killed my husband? What is she doing with my daughter? Like, just give her some context,
please.
We learned that she tried for 6 years to get pregnant. Mulder from like the back corner is like, in vitro fertilization.
He has the energy of someone like who's been hidden heretofore, popping up out of like a really big planter with like the plant on top of his head, you know?
So, I mean, to be fair, I jest, but IVF, in vitro fertilization, in the year 2023 is a lot more common. It's a thing that people speak about way more, and in 1993 was spoken about in a very different way. Maybe not with Mulder popping out with a plant on his head, but still, it was not as in common dialogue as it is now. So we learn about the Luther Stapes Clinic.
We do. That's where Mrs. Reardon did her IVF. Scully and Mulder pop outside, and Scully is like, "In your face, Mulder! No red lightning!"
No aliens.
Mulder takes this opportunity undeterred to say exsanguinated one more time.
One more time. We're in the car. Mulder says one girl was abducted. Scully says kidnapped. Mulder says potato. Mulder decides he's going to stay back, keep an eye on Cindy, because clearly if Tina was abducted, there's a danger to this girl as well. I'm sorry, this smug bitch as well. Scully, you told me, I keep saying it, you told me I wouldn't be canceled.
Okay, well, maybe just
dial it back a little bit, a couple notches. Okay. Scully's going to go check out the Luther Stapes clinic.
Okay. Technically, this man doesn't have a ponytail, and I have had to check every single time I watch this episode, but he really looks like he should. He has like huge ponytail energy, so I'm just calling him Dr. Ponytail.
Yeah, that's great. I support it.
Dr. Ponytail proceeds to explain IVF to Dana Scully, who is a medical doctor, who I feel like would have... I know it's 1993, but I just feel like Scully knows what IVF is and how it works.
But she's like,
it's for us.
It's for us. She's like, is it possible to have the wrong egg implanted? And the doctor's like, definitely not, except for definitely maybe. It's like basically.
He's like, definitely not. Scully's like, what's up with Sally Kendrick? And he's like, oh no.
He's like, that smug bitch.
That's that cursed woman who was tampering with eugenics.
No way. There's no way that this ever happened, except for absolutely there was a woman who worked here who fucked around with everything in the lab for like a full several years before.
I just didn't expect you to bring her up. That's all.
Okay, so we see this video of Sally Kendrick. LaToya noted that she loved this transition. We both loved it as well. It sort of like goes into the video when Scully is watching it in the doctor's office and then comes out of the image in the hotel room.
Where they're watching a VHS tape.
Yeah, hotel rooms, in 1993. They came with VHS.
Mulder's wearing his rimmed glasses again.
Yeah,
Scully's wearing her little cross necklace outside of her shirt again. It's looking good at the motel.
Yes, I agree. I've decided that in every episode from now on, my scene location for the hotel is Hotel Motel Holiday Inn. You haven't heard our episode for Fallen Angel yet, but it begins there. Okay, so we learn that Sally Kendrick was a resident in 85. She was brilliant. They were thrilled. This doctor, found her tampering, tried to request an investigation. For whatever reason, his requests were denied and she disappeared. Then to your point, my next note is Mulder looks hot. So, okay, the phone rings. Ring-a-ding.
Scully is like, hello, Mulder's room.
And it's like, click,
click, click,
click,
click, click. And Scully's like, oh, must be a wrong number. The first thing they teach you at the academy is definitely not what it sounds like when your phone is being tapped or you're receiving like a weird message. I have a big question.
Is it, why is my hair's frizzing? Is it humid in here?
It's just warm, all the equipment, the temperature's rising.
It's the trench coat.
It is the trench.
Okay, continue. I'm so sorry.
Okay, well, first of all, Mulder's like, well, yep, there were some clicks, so yeah, you should go. I'm gonna watch a movie. No big deal. I'm gonna watch Red Shoe Diaries. You should really go. And Scully's like, do you have a girl coming over? And Mulder's like, what's a girl?
What's a girl? This is the reverse of do you have a date? Now everyone's jealous of everyone.
Yeah. It's really heating up. Okay, so how do you know that a couple clicks means meet me by the docks in this town where you're visiting?
It's like, how like queer folks flag? It's like the Deep Throat Mulder flagging. They have like their own flagging system, like 2 clicks for the water location.
Okay, first of all, Deep Throat Mulder flagging sounds like something that's not appropriate for our family show.
It's true. But yeah, I think that's what the vibe is.
No, I need a little bit more.
I think the truth is that he called, he hung up because it was Scully. He hates Scully. So Mulder knew to get Scully out of there so he could call Deep Throat back.
Okay.
Right. They have each other's phone numbers.
They've got a system. Okay, they've got a system.
Moody Do you see my location here? Moody water location. Okay. Mulder's eating his fucking sunflower. Does he just keep them in his trench coat? Did you put any sunflower seeds in your trench coat pocket?
You know, I didn't. And that was a mistake.
That was a big mistake. He's eating his seeds, and Deep Throat is like, did I ever tell you about the Litchfield projects? Why is this man here? Why is he here? I know you can't answer that because I'm the unspoiled amongst us, but
he's a man about town, you know. He's got a lot of pots on the stove, a lot of pies in the oven.
It just, you know, at the end of Fallen Angel, it's like they have Deep Throat twist his mustache, right? Like, I'm actually the enemy of Mulder and I'm keeping him close for whatever. But if and I don't actually believe that. Oh, we'll get more to that in the crystal ball segment. But if Deep Throat is actually trying to just keep Mulder close for that reason, why would he give him information that probably they would not have found out? They wouldn't have found out about the Litchfield projects, right? Moving right along, we learn about the Litchfield projects. Jenny, what happened in the 1950s?
Well, in the 50s...
Sorry, somebody in the chat said smug bitch, Deep Throat. Deep Throat is legit. Deep Throat is the original smug bitch, as a matter of fact. Okay.
Okay. Back in the 50s, Russia was messing around with eugenics. The United States was like, me too, me too.
Classic.
So they rustled up a little program, created a group of genetically raised children. They monitored them.
Why would they name them all the same name? Doesn't that seem like just generally confusing? Like when it was time for the boys to line up, would they just be like, Adams?
Well, I think, Kristin, probably is some kind of psychological thing where you don't want to let your scientists get attached. So
yeah.
Don't see them as, individual human beings. See them as subjects.
Okay, got it. So they gave them, I mean, we don't learn this part here, but they basically were engineering these humans with 56 chromosomes instead of 42 to try to make an army of clones. A clone army, ever heard of it?
That's so many chromosomes.
It's a lot of chromosomes. And Deep Throat is like, there's this lady you should see. We fade through to... Are you going to make it?
Yeah, I'm just excited.
We fade through to the Litchfield Detention Center. Scully and Mulder are given panic buttons. Can anyone tell us if this is real? Is this real? Do you get a panic button if you go to a Litchfield detention center? Or?
I feel like this is in no way an indication of whether or not it's real, but I feel like this is not the only time I've seen a, max security situation, like a scenario on TV where people are given a panic button.
Okay. So they're given a panic button.
So it at least is going on in other TV shows.
Okay, great.
Maybe because of this TV show.
That's actually the best way to fact check anything. If it's happening in more than 2 TV shows, it is true. Okay. LaToya asks a good question, which is, how did Mulder explain this to Scully? Like, Scully, I was just on AskJeeves.com and I found this out. Who knows? But they're there. Very Silence of the Lamb vibes.
Oh, yeah.
Scully's now wearing a purple shirt and a purple trench coat. Okay. I posit, Jenny, that you know how Buffy's color is baby blue? Mm-hmm. Maybe Scully's color is purple.
Oh, and maybe it's because of
the Lord?
Because she's Catholic.
Yeah. We get to zoom in on a very important sign. This is the sign that identifies this person inside of the cell. And this is a great moment to let you know, if you don't already, that Jenny and I got to sit down and talk to Max Collins, who is the lead singer of a band called eX-Files. They took their name from this episode of television, and we are going to show you our conversation with Max. Are you ready? They said yes.
Who could have ever guessed that one day this would happen? We are here speaking with Max Collins of the band eX-Files, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us.
Thank you so much for asking me to. This is great.
I impressed everyone because I never know anything. I haven't seen the X-Files ever before. So many cultural references just go right past me. Everyone says, "What did you do in the 90s?" And when I was told about the fact that you were going to come on the podcast, I surprised everyone by simply reciting like all of the lyrics.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I was like,
Yes.
I have this actually. This is one of my areas of expertise. Thank you very much.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So the hottest question on our minds, as pertains to specifically the episode we're discussing, your band name is eX-Files. eX-Files is the scariest maybe of these. Maybe they're all equally scary or mostly equally scary. Can you recount for us how this came to be your band name, and if there's a particular allegiance to eX-Files specifically? Tell us all about it.
Okay. Yeah, so we were actually in the studio recording our first album when we needed to come up with a band's name, believe it or not. Well, I guess not needed to. It was strongly suggested by our A&R guy at the time that we change our band name because we were called 11 Teen. And he thought that the fact that we were literal teenagers made that too on the nose or something. I don't know. I still think 11 Teen is kind of cute, but so he was like, we need a new band name. So we were sort of, the antennae were up and we're like, okay, what should we call this thing? And part of our kind of ritual in the studio was after we finished recording, our erstwhile drummer would put on a VHS copy of an X-Files episode. Yes. We were moving through it, and he had been devoted to the show for a long time. It was completely new to myself and our guitar player, and we were instantly very much in. You mentioned eX-Files being possibly the scary. She's the most overtly, most obviously scary Eve, right? And yeah, before they go into her cell for the first time, there's that little plaque sign above her cell that says eX-Files, and I was like, that sounds like a fucking band name to me. It sort of merged two of the zeitgeists around band names at the time. One being, like having a woman's name in the band, and the other being the number thing. The woman's name thing was maybe sort of on the way out, and the number thing was coming in. Yeah, I don't know. It just struck me as kind of instantly a little bit iconic, and I was like, I think we roll with this. And it was one of those rare moments in like a band's life where everyone sort of agreed instantaneously. And that was that.
Yeah, you got to jump on those opportunities when they arise.
You really do. Those are tiny miracles.
When I saw that zoom in on the plaque, I thought maybe this was like the moment, because it really is. Like really go for it, They really go for it. That was 100% the moment. It was the zoom in on the plaque, which I think is before she's even been revealed, right? Yeah.
And then they go in. Yeah. They go in and they're scanning their flashlights, and you don't see anything. And then there she is in her straitjacket, in the corner looking creepy.
Did you do things with the show ever? Like, did they ever say, can you play a con or anything like that?
No, we didn't. I mean, I have had since some interactions with the actress who played Eve, and she seems really cool. But no, we never, did any cross branding or anything like that with the X-Files. There was a very, very weird thing that happened where, because our band broke up in like, what would it have been? 2005, somewhere around there, for a few years. And we didn't think that I certainly didn't think that we'd be playing together as a band again. But then, of course, we, started to consider it. I started to consider it. And the day that we decided, okay, let's start playing out live again and see how this thing feels, our ex-drummer was at the 101 Cafe. I'm pretty sure it was Harriet Harris and not one of the twins, especially since they're off the map and haven't been seen anywhere. She was there at the 101 Cafe. After this was the day that we'd said, okay, we're gonna do Eve-6 again. She was there at the 101 Cafe at the same time as our drummer. He called me saying, "You're not gonna believe this."
Wow.
Spooky.
Yeah.
That is
Very
spooky.
Very spooky.
If you found out tomorrow that you had a clone, or, okay, let's bump it up, 2 clones. Do you feel like, what feels like more manageable in your mind? A band with 2 people who aren't your clones, or like a band of 3 of you?
Oh man, a band of 3 of me wouldn't be able to figure out how to get to Tulsa for the casino show. I mean, it wouldn't it wouldn't happen. Nothing would happen.
Okay. You gotta have have like the admin-minded person, the organized person.
Very much the smart guy. I need my smart guy in the band.
So we have a question that we ask everyone at the end of our interviews. And Jenny, would you like to do the honors, or would you like me to ask the final question?
I always get to do it. You should go for it.
That's true. I was like, oh, she always gets to do it. I always give her the chance to do it. All right. So Max, do you believe in the existence of extraterrestrials?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's probably stuff out there. But I also think kind of the truth of the X-Files is more that aliens and alien life are kind of convenient carrots for power to dangle in front of our eyes to get us to look the other way, or to create a sense of threat for purposes of control. I don't think they've come close to us. They're probably in universes that are too far away to even fathom. And that's sort of where I come down, but I'm also don't know what I'm talking about.
I was gonna follow it up by asking, are you a Scully or are you a Mulder? But you kind of have both going on. You're like, they're probably not around here, but also the illusion of them is probably being used by forces above us to us. In saying that I'm too rational to believe in aliens, I end up sounding crazier and stupider. Or just more prepared,
Maybe
keep an eye out.
Yeah, absolutely. This has been very cool for so many reasons. It is, we've interviewed a couple of folks from who've been on the show, but this is just so delightful. I'm very glad I came the reverse way from Jenny. I would imagine that Jenny saw the episode Eve before learning of Eve-6. I, of course, knew Eve-6 well before ever seeing the X-Files. So I'm glad that we're now all on the same page. We now all have the same case full of information.
Yeah, me too. This is cool. Yeah. Thank you guys so much. This was really fun. I appreciate it a lot.
Thank you.
Welcome back.
Max Collins.
What a guy.
Seriously, the best. And I said this to Max in the conversation, but I was a huge Eve-6 fan, was so excited that he talked to us. Very, very cool. Very fun.
Yeah.
As a podcast network, Our focus is bringing you shows you love to listen to. But we also sell merch related to those shows. And partnering with Shopify has made that both possible and simple for us to do. Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. Whether you're selling scented soap or offering outdoor adventures, Shopify helps you sell everywhere because they've got you covered from their all-in-one e-commerce platform to their in-person POS system. What's so fantastic about Shopify is how, no matter how big you want to grow, they provide everything you need to get control of your business so you can take it to the next level. Businesses that grow, grow with Shopify. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/realm. That's all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/realm now to grow your business, no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/realm.
Finding a new podcast to listen to is easy. Finding a good new podcast, that's a little tougher. So let me recommend one. It's called Something You Should Know. If you like fascinating information you can use in your life from some of the top experts in the world, you're going to like Something You Should Know. I'm the host, Mike Carruthers, and recently we've covered topics like the benefits of laughing, the science of dreaming, where your deep desires come from, even how to make the perfect burger. We produce 3 episodes a week, and each episode is packed with rock-solid intel that will make your life better. And we have a lot of fun doing it. Something You Should Know has been ranked on the Apple Podcast charts every day for over 7 years. A lot of people like this podcast, and you will too. Listen to Something You Should Know wherever you get your podcasts. Look for the bright yellow light bulb on the blue background. It's Something You Should Know.
Let's go past the sign. Let's go past the Eve 6 sign, a pivotal moment for the band, for all of us who then got to listen to the band. But we go in. The guard, first of all, has been like, hey, Scully, Mulder, heard you two like flashlights. Hook you up, gives them some flashlights because Eve 6 does not like any lights. And no one has gotten a very good look at her, in fact.
This seems...
Yeah.
It seems off. She's got art on the walls. I feel like a lot of things indicate that this is bunk.
I agree. Also, I don't think that they really care about what you prefer in a detention center, And I understand that she gets violent. She will get to some of the things that she does. But still, this is the vibe. They go in with their flashlights. And she says, so I guess you found what you're looking for. One of us, at least. And Scully, in all fairness, is like, this is Sally Kendrick. I just saw a video. I just saw a VHS of this woman moments ago. This is Sally Kendrick. But it's not. Eve 6, Eve 7, Eve 8, they're all played by Harriet Harris. I say in my notes, Harriet Harris, yes, you can. And LaToya says, Harriet Sampson Harris is that bitch. This actress is incredible. LaToya points out she is iconic on Frasier as Frasier's cutthroat agent, Bebe Glazer, iconic as an antagonist on Desperate Housewives, iconic on her one hilarious scene in Licorice Pizza, iconic winning a Tony, iconic here. And as LaToya says, she has no problem calling out overacting on this show or anything else, but like with the episode Ice, the material here is elevated by the actor and their performance. 1,000%. This is unbelievable. Unlock the chains and then we'll talk. She says she paid too much attention to a guard. There it is. There it is.
She bit into his eyeball.
La 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 la. Pop. Sorry. I'm sorry. Why
would you say that?
I don't know. You make me watch all of these things, okay? I didn't ever want to think about an eyeball being bitten into. She says, we're very bright, we Eves. It runs in the family. And we learned that the Adams and the Eves are prone to suicide. Eve 7, I love that it's just the sequential order of these Eves. Eve 6, 7, and 8 are the ones that we know of, at least, that have lasted. And, she says, she's not Sally Kendrick. This line, Jenny, I love it so much. That's not my name, but she is me. and I am her, and we are all together.
Yeah, have you ever heard of a band called The Beatles?
Cuckoo Kachoo?
Exactly. Good. Okay, good.
Yeah, they said like, you are the walrus, and
it was like, I am Eve and you are Eve and we are Eve and we are all together.
I was trying to find a way to horribly mess up the Beatles lyrics, but I couldn't do it. Okay, so we learn that she's been locked up. She's not Sally Kendrick, because when Sally was working at the clinic, she was there in her straitjacket in this detention center. And they keep her alive.
She says in 1985, I had been tied up like this for 2 years. And for what reason? No reason. I did nothing. I'm just me.
They made me. But did they suffer? No. I suffer. They keep me alive for the Litchfield Project. They come in, they test me, they poke me to see what went wrong. Sally knows what went wrong.
And this is a cool, I mean, we like the episode and it's great, but this is like a really cool concept that I would have loved to like go even deeper into. You know, this like these Eves were created, and they were created in an altered genetic fashion. But what does that mean for them? Who is responsible for them and their well-being? Is anyone responsible for their well-being? Like, there's just so much in
Kristin, the government does whatever it wants.
Yeah, the government doesn't.
So don't worry about it.
They've got, like I said, more chromosomes. I immediately thought that maybe these were the lost numbers. Like, I immediately was like, what are the lost numbers? When she was like chromosome 4, 5, 12, 16, 22, they are not the lost numbers.
Oh my God.
And then she points to the photo on her wall. Why would there be photographic evidence of this? I don't know.
Why would she be allowed to have it?
Yeah.
What does it matter? Because nobody's ever gotten a good look at her. There's no lights in there. So,
but I do, as bizarre as it is that she would have a photo of all of the Eves when they were kids, it's really fucking creepy and cool, this photo on the wall.
Oh, yeah. Chilling.
Sally Kendrick, we learn, of course.
They're on a swing set. I'm sorry.
I was wondering if it would still happen after I took the trench coat off.
And yes,
it did.
The little Eves are all scattered on a swing set.
Oh, I didn't realize.
This is what I'm saying.
So, do you think that the swing sets are clones of each other? They're not actually different swing sets. They genetically cloned the swing sets and the Eves. Each Eve, when it's born, comes out with a tiny swing set. Wow. So yeah, Sally Kendrick, as we all know, was cloning herself.
They've got heightened strength. They've got heightened intelligence. They've got heightened psychosis. Even Eve 6 knows that Scully is a skeptic.
Yeah.
She's like, you don't believe me. But look at all of us on our little swing set.
Scully's like, heard of Photoshop?
And then Scully's like, there's another swing set? It must be real.
We go to Cindy's house, and I write in my notes, there is nothing creepier than a creepy kid who is praying, to be honest. Like, take a creepy kid and you want to kick that creepiness up a scale, have them just like softly praying. She says, please take care of Daddy up in heaven. She also, when the Eves are born, they come out with a swing set and a stuffed bunny, actually, because she also has a stuffed bunny.
Yes, how did she have the bunny too?
No! It's metaphysics, Jenny. It's metaphysics. All right.
Oh, don't you think it's incredibly convenient that the one piece of photographic evidence that Eve 6 happens to have of all her clones, they are the exact same age that Tina and Cindy are now?
They all at the same time, they looked at the photographer and said, I was born 8 years ago. Oh, God. All right. In Mulder and Scully's lookout car, Mulder's like, Kendrick's accomplice is herself. He's like so excited about clones. And Scully was like, yeah, I was starting to suspect the girls.
Mulder's like, what a dummy.
Like, okay, just like keep that. Just take that little bit of Scully saying, I was starting to suspect the girls. And let's just I'll put it in our back pocket. Okay, let's save it for later.
Okay.
Cindy, I'm so sorry to tell everyone this, but Cindy goes to the window And Scully takes her tiny binoculars and is like, let me see what's going on up there. And this smug bitch is like, boo, at the fucking window looking right at her in the eye.
You do not, the one thing you don't want when you look at someone through binoculars is for them to be staring directly
I think this is the scariest beat for me. I think this is the scariest beat of the whole episode is Cindy just being like, Also, Eve Sally is in the closet? ? Eve Sally turns a bright light. And this is brighter than any closet light has ever been. She turns that light on in the closet and she kidnaps / abducts Cindy. Scully goes in the front, Mulder takes the back. I wrote that so seriously, and then when I reread it in my notes, like Scully in the front, Mulder in the back, I was like, whoa, Kristin.
That is not appropriate for our family show. Kidnapping Eve bops Scully. She just... What? Did you just say this?
No.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait, but you said Scully in the front, Mulder in the back. Okay, cool. But then you looked at me with such disdain.
No, I was just listening.
Yeah, she basically just like, what's it called in football? When you just like run through people?
A hug.
It's not a tackle.
Hug run.
No.
A stampede.
Yeah, she just like blasts through Scully and then also threw some glass into the yard
for no reason.
I was gonna say, is there no
reason?
Just a door that opens? Maybe
definitely it was a sliding door and fucking.
Oh, and I feel like sliding doors. The glass in sliding doors is particularly like heavy.
Thick.
Well,
Yeah.
but she's so strong.
She's so strong.
Like, I got all these extra chromosomes. Pow!
Might as well use them. If you got them, use them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She slams through this door.
Oh, then the one thing you don't want when you aim a flashlight at somebody is to catch their really intense face.
Unplanned. We're just good. We're professionals.
Which is exactly what Mulder does with Sally Kendrick.
Mm-hmm.
He catches her right in the high beams. And
Which, just to note, is our second flashlight use in this episode. This episode is the second episode to get two tallies. Yeah. FBI, I'm armed, says Mulder, making us all feel a little woozy. She points her gun at Cindy and is like, I'll do it. And you fucking know I will. Makes Mulder drop his gun. She runs to her getaway car and she gets the hell out of there.
Yes, and she brings Cindy. I'm like, which one?
Just say that. You just have to say the smug bitch and then it counts for all of them.
She brings Cindy into this motel where she has Tina tied up in the bathroom, I guess.
I guess, but it doesn't seem like that they even want to be, like, not want to be tied up. It doesn't seem like they need to be tied up. It seems like once the tiny Eves are there, they understand the vibe.
They smile the creepiest little smiles at each other.
The whole
twins.
The whole honestly, like all of the costuming in this episode was fantastic. Like especially with the tiny Eves.
Where did their matching outfits come from?
Sally
Kendrick got those matching outfits for them.
Yeah, they probably
have
think
them
they're
left over from the Litchfield.
Do you think that all of the Eves wore that, and then all of the Adams had like little weird blue suits or like green suits? No, like, they couldn't be green because that would be Christmas. Yeah, okay. But yeah, this is like really, really good shit. It's super creepy. It's like later we see them like full length, and they have like thick red. I don't know why, like a tight that you can't see through the tight to anything below is like always makes me think that like a child might murder me. You know?
Sure. Yeah.
But it just has that effect on me.
Yeah.
It's good. It's very, very good.
So Kendrick tries to throw them off her trail by leaving her car at the airport. So smart.
So she's got extra chromosomes.
I know. But Mulder happens to get a well-timed call from a motel manager who's been seeing a Kendrick type coming and going at all hours with and without children.
We see him when they first like zoom in on this like hotel apartment complex or whatever, just like raking leaves, but not like actually moving any leaves and like looking suspiciously at them.
Yeah, looking like an animatronic raker in like a,
yes, like it's a small world. Exactly. So Mulder convinces Scully that like, hey, this is the kids. And the way he does it is he says, the groundskeeper remembers one of them telling him to use chlorine in the pool because it will eradicate the dinoflagellates in the water.
Now, if you were on the lam, would you go running around telling people to use chlorine to eradicate the dinoflagellates in the
They
pool?
probably don't even realize that it's a bigger word than other words, you know? I feel like when you use words like that and you're not just trying to be, oh, you're right, they are smug bitches. They probably would know better.
I didn't say that. Okay. So they're having a little Eve class of today, Eve class of yesteryear huddle. And we're finding out all kinds of stuff. The Adams and Eves would have, in Sally Kendrick's day, psychotic behavior would show up at age 16. Homicidal behavior would show up at age 20. Imagine my disappointment when I learned of your accelerated development. The way that she says this and like the things that she does with her face while she says it is so great.
Yeah, I mean, she's unbelievable. Harriet Harris, Emmy for Harriet Harris. She already has a Tony, so let's make her a trifectate. What do you call the people that win all of them?
You're thinking of an EGOT.
Which it does include a Tony.
Yeah,
so an EGOT. Ashley in the chat said the matching outfits also clearly a nod to The Shining, which I feel like is a very important observation. And yes, 100%. This is like sad too, you know? I mean, think about it.
What came first, The Shining or people who have twins dressing their twins the same?
People who have twins. You think that people were like, oh, now that The Shining dressed the twins.
Well, I'm just saying, like, is it a nod to The Shining or have twins wearing the same thing set people on edge since time out of mind?
Can someone call Tegan and Sarah, please? We have some questions. Here's the thing. I wish that we got more of Sally. Like, I just wish we got just the tiniest bit more of this because it's really interesting. And like, you know, we talk about Yellow Jackets a lot. And like this idea in Yellow Jackets, I feel like of the bad things that happen to you in your life and like how you can go back and can you go back? Can you fix them? Can you heal things? Whatever. And like in this clone universe, Sally Kendrick, Eve Sally, is trying. I mean, is it ethical? No, of course not. But she's trying to make a better life basically for herself. I mean, it's not even for like a version of herself. It is literally for herself. And so she's not being shitty when she's like, I was so disappointed to find out that like everything that she did was like they are worse off than she even was. I just think that it is very sad when you look at it from Eve Sally's perspective.
Oh, for sure.
You know? And like we get a little bit of that, and clearly Harriet Harris is giving it her all, so we do get that from the performance too. But I don't know. I just think it's a important question. Okay, so let's hear what the Eves are discussing in this kitchen scene.
How did you learn of each other's existence?
We just knew.
Did you discuss how you would orchestrate your little prank?
We just knew.
Why murder your fathers?
They weren't our fathers. We have no parents. We weren't born. We were created.
You know, Eve is saying you can't think that way. I was raised by somebody who understood what I needed, and we can do the same thing for you. And then they laugh hysterically as she sees this. Now, for anyone who canceled me earlier for referring to these two as smug bitches, please refer to this scene.
Kristin's redemption.
Thank you. I told you. They put 4 ounces of foxglove that they extracted from a digitalis plant all on their own, and they put it in her soda. This much is the lethal dose. We cultivated them ourselves. You know, twins really get a bad rap.
And this is why.
Yeah. Eve Sally is like, why did you do this? They say, you tell us. You made us. We're your mistake. And she grabs for a knife. Too little, too late, Eve Sally, to correct her mistake. But she cannot kill these two. And then they are geniuses. You got to give them credit.
They are geniuses and hams.
Go on.
Absolute hams. They bust the window so that Mulder and Scully, who are outside, come running in to find Eve 7 on the floor. Tina and Cindy huddled in the corner holding each other. We're so scared. They're basically like, Daddy. and they're like, the other one ran away. And they're like, what did she look like? And they're like, they just point. Silently at a poor R.I.P. Sally Kendrick on the floor.
Oh my God. Scully is like immediately so. This is where it goes a little off the rails for me. Knowing that Scully and Mulder are federal agents and, might not know about time zones, but should know some stuff. Mm-hmm. Because Scully is basically like, foxglove, sweet, probably imperceptible in sodas. Hey, what do you say we go get some sodas, girls? Like, it just feels like a lot that she is saying this thing could easily be imperceptible in a soda. They go get sodas, and later she will take a sip from her soda and say, syrupy. I just feel like maybe she would, especially because remember we put it in our back pocket. She suspected them perhaps at first. So with that suspicion, with knowing they use this thing that's imperceptible in soda, I just feel like our girl would maybe not drink the soda.
Yeah, maybe just don't drink the soda, Scully. They hatched this little plan, and they just knew what the plan would be. They stop at a rest stop. Mulder, the fool, tries to order 4 diet sodas. And the girls are like regular in unison. And that's the one time when it's okay that they speak in unison.
Hey, 1993 was a big year for diet soda.
Not for an 8-year-old.
Really? I don't think my parents cared. I mean, they cared about everything.
I just mean no 8-year-old would want diet soda over regular soda. You know?
Fair.
Anyway, Sharon Van Etten is working the counter.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You even know what Sharon Van Etten looks like?
No.
Okay.
She does music, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I feel like when she first popped off, she had this haircut. They have kind of similar features. And this woman is pouring some sodas while she... This is such a weird order of events. Hello, we'd like 4 sodas, please.
Bye.
We're not going to pay. We're going to go to the other side of the building.
Yeah.
We're all going to go to the bathroom. One of the twins hatches a sneaky little plan, pretending to be stuck in her stall so the other one can sneak out, take the sodas. Sharon Van Etten is like, wait. And the girl's like, it's okay. My dad'll pay for it. She notably doesn't say daddy.
Says daddy. Like, she's like, everyone else wants Mulder to be their daddy. I won't take him.
Yeah. And then proceeds to just pour a vial of some nasty,
so messily.
Looking...
This is how you know they're 8 years old. You know, just foxglove everywhere. So they put foxglove in 2 of the sodas, and
such a missed opportunity that this episode doesn't take place in a season when Fox Mulder would be wearing gloves.
Oh, foxgloves.
You really like that, or are you just humoring me?
I love it. No, I love it. I really love it. Imagine getting 4 sodas for $5. That was one of my notes.
It's $1.25 a soda, Kristin.
Seems pretty cheap to me. Here's where we get Scully. Tastes syrupy. Mulder forgets his keys. He goes back. He sees the messy foxglove all over the counter. The fucking woman behind the counter, what's her name? Sharon Van Etten. She's like, what is happening here? You know, sodas are going. No one's paying. Shit's on the counter.
Yeah. I'm trying to run a clean, organized business here.
All Fox Mulder had to do was say something like, hey, she gave us all diet sodas, or she gave but he runs out into the parking lot and is like, Scully, everything's fine. I just wanted to open the door for you. And like before they even get around the car, he's like, poof, with his soda. It's just like bats all up to the ground. And of course the girls see this. Like even if they were just regular 8-year-old girls, they would see this and notice this.
I just feel like you're leaving out some important stuff about like how Scully slurps her soda. She kind of please
show us.
Shrugs
Why
her shoulder.
Did we not have straws for tonight?
She's like
oh my God, we should have had our drinks and
trying to find the straw with her mouth. You know what I mean? Like it's a whole thing. It's amazing. That you can find the GIF very easily on the internet. Go check it out. It's really good.
When we advertise.
The look that she gives him when he's like, I just wanted to open the door for you. She's like, what?
Since when?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, God. He scream whispers, they poisoned it.
And Scully loudly proclaims, we didn't drink enough to make us sick.
The girls run because, of course, they fucking do. And then to truckers. I mean, this is the era of milk cartons. You know what I mean? This is the era of like, hey, kids, be careful out there. So these truckers are on. They're on to the situation. They're like, something's happening because this adult man is really handling these two little girls in a way that doesn't seem safe for anyone.
And like, the man's got a point.
Oh, fully.
It looks
He's
very
not
weird.
wrong.
Also, it's so weird. Have you ever seen a trucker trucking with his wife? With him?
No, but I really loved this trucker for that decision.
I feel like the only reason.
Also, how do you know that the wife isn't the trucker and she brought her husband?
Yeah, okay.
Nice.
Anyway, this trucker and his wife, they definitely added the wife so it wouldn't be weird for
that,
the
like
trucker.
the dude would come out. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Unhand those little girls.
He's like, I'm gonna call the police, and Scully's like, we are the police. In a moment I love.
This is it's just some unfortunate judgment. Okay, so
yeah,
Sharon
I know where you're. I can tell when Jenny's like really excited to get to something that she has to get through other things to get to it. Go ahead, take us on the journey.
Sharon Van Etten's like, a school bus full of kids just pulled out. So Scully tears off as a decoy in their car. The girls emerge from a tarp in a boat in this parking lot. And Mulder is
here's
like,
where she was getting.
Boo! And what's so great about this is that they must not have had a take where this didn't happen. These girls are like, when Mulder like grabs them, they're like giggling. They're just like, they're having a blast. Just like, I could see them smiling. And they're just like, we're just little girls.
Okay, but Mulder says, that's the last thing you are.
I don't know if that's exactly the order of things, Mulder.
I don't know if that's actually the last. They technically are just little girls. Okay, here's white nonsense moment from LaToya number 2. We go back to the Reardon's house and we see a photo of Cindy with her dad. LaToya says, the photo of Cindy with her dad is also white nonsense because you see his big smile and nothing from her. Again, could not be me. I would have sent that kid to therapy as soon as possible, at least.
Why are people always ripping photos?
The 90s were a big time for ripping photos.
Easily that could go wrong because she wants to keep the husband side of the picture, even though she'll always remember.
Even though Cindy's shoulder is fully in it. I feel like just let go of the photo. You probably have photos of your husband, ma'am.
Yeah.
But this is, I mean, we're not going to get too deep into it. We're doing a live taping, what have you. But this is a wild thing for Mrs. Reardon to be like, she was never my daughter.
Mrs. Reardon said, fuck Cindy.
Mrs. Reardon said, fuck that smug bitch. She was a smug bitch coming out, and she was a smug bitch. I'm sorry.
Oh my God.
You know what they say, comedy in 30s. So regardless of the cloning of it all, regardless of a lot of things, this woman raised Cindy for 8 years. And I don't think it would be as tear the photo, burn it. She was never mine to begin with.
Okay, but
kind of
she
vibes.
did kill her husband.
Yes.
I think I might be like, someone put this egg in me without my consent, and then it grew to murder my husband. Yes. Ever since she was born 8 years ago, she was always destined to grow up and kill Mr. Reardon.
Along with the swing set that inexplicably came out of me as well. Okay.
That's the Luther Stapes special, Kristin.
We got unlimited embryo transfers plus a swing set and a bunny.
That's right.
All right. So we leave the Reardon home and we go to Litchfield one last time.
And this is, yeah.
What do you think Eve 8 was doing the whole time? Just sipping pina coladas?
Well, let's just be clear. At the Whiting Institute, okay, Eve 6 is still where we last saw her, but now Eve's 9 and 10 have been added, and they press their creepy little faces up against the grating. And then in walks a lab coat with a tidy ponytail, but she has auburn hair, which is suddenly setting me on edge. She turns and oh my God, it's Eve 8. And all of them are just like being like creepy in a never-ending cycle together. We've been waiting. We just knew. So is Eve 8 now in charge? Is she the doctor in charge of the remaining individuals from the Litchfield experiment?
What do you mean? Oh, like she was coming to reclaim them?
I don't know about reclaim them. Like, is she the one running the tests? Is she the one poking Eve 6? Yeah, because you were saying who's responsible.
Yeah.
Is she responsible? Because anybody who looks at her, actually, they've never gotten a good look at Eve 6.
They've
so they
never
may not
gotten a good
realize
look
that
at
Eve 8 is identical to Eve 6.
They wouldn't have let her into the Litchfield place if they recognized that she was the same. Yeah.
Unless she is known to be the doctor.
Oh, I didn't think about that at all.
Me neither until right now.
Don't you think that if she was like in charge and the one poking and prodding, that like the little Eves would not be like, we always knew you'd come, or whatever the fuck they're saying? Like, they seem like into it. I just assumed that Eve
maybe
8,
she's gonna break them out.
Oh, fully. I think like she's gonna use her, extra 14 chromosomes and just pop the doors off, and they'll all run away.
All right.
Yeah. And then they'll put other Eve embryos inside of bodies, and I mean the Eves, they're among us,
No, yeah, I'm always
the
saying
Eves, they're out there. Okay, are we ready?
I think we've arrived. Kristin, are you prepared?
I'm ready.
Sexual attention award.
Well, welcome back to another thrilling installment of the Sexual Tension Awards here on the eX-Files. Oh my goodness. So many slots, so many noms with which to fill them up to their brims as though they were cups of coffee on the very edge of a countertop. You know how this works. Buckle up for couplings, thruplings, and beyond. In slot number 1, you remember Salvador Dali and his melting clocks across the sprawling wasteland? Yeah, you're familiar with the persistence of time, but have you considered the pairing of Eve and the persistence of Eves?
I have considered it.
I know you have. In slot number 2, even in 2023, some people are just traditionalists, and they want to open the door for you, especially when your diet soda is full of digitalis. So, for that reason and so many others, Mulder and Scully in slot number 2.
Hell yeah.
In slot number 3, it's often been said that it takes 2 to make a thing go right. It takes 2 to make it out of sight. It's also been said that, like, you really need things to all line up. Like, to have your, like, best life, or for things to really go off without a hitch, everything kind of needs to be, like, the wheels need to be greased, everything needs to be moving in concert with what, all the other elements of something. And that is why, in slot number 3, we have chosen to nominate Soda Lady, a.k.a. Sharon Van Etten, and Getting Paid. This woman's had a long day. She does not need to be accounting for the $5 missing from her drawer at the end of the night when she just wants to go home to her boyfriend and watch a nice, spooky episode of the X-Files with her feet up.
You really, like... Every time you do Sexual Tension Awards now, I think of you saying, will they, won't they? And like, this is a big will. Will they, won't they? Will she get paid for the sodas or won't she?
She did.
Did she?
Okay. She did.
She did.
Mulder gave the 5.
Mulder didn't. Mulder actually said, do you want to pay? And his one, like, I know how to deal with kids moment.
It's right up there with Nice Bunny. And in slot number 4, what some might consider a shoe-in for this episode, if
a
only...
red shoe-in?
Yes, absolutely. If only for the sheer repetition. I feel like a big part of, like, ads and political campaigns is like just getting imprints on a person. You've seen me so many times on the TV, you might just buy a car from my dealership. These two individuals really have visibility going for them in this episode. In slot number 4, we've got Daddies and Exsanguination. Long may they reign.
Andy would like to know why Jenny's hand and Kristin's shoulder are not being nominated. And I have to tell you folks, on Patreon, we can actually have 5 nominations. So
in slot number 5,
I'm putting it in.
They can't. Will they? Won't they? When will they stop? It's Jenny's hand and Kristin's shoulder.
Oh, God.
If you are listening to this episode, that means that you might possibly want to vote in this poll. So please visit bufferingcast.com/STA, which will lead you via the breadcrumbs that are made of zeros and ones directly to our poll on Patreon. You don't have to be a patron to vote. Just got to show up and make an account.
I wish I had our email up right now like I normally would for a recording, because somebody actually wrote to us about faxes, because I was like, if you put ones and zeros into a fax, is it becoming ones and zeros? And someone wrote and was like, it's actually like, I'll paraphrase it for you. Totally wrong. Don't believe me. They were like, it's actually singing a song, and that song is like there. It's like something either visual or auditory or whatever. It's not ones and zeros. I'll find the email and I'll actually tell you the truth next episode. But for now, just say to everyone, a fax machine, it just sings you a song.
Okay. Yeah.
Sings a song. Did you finish the end of it? Are we done?
Kristin, I did.
Okay.
Sexual attention award.
And we're back. Incredible stuff. I wish every podcast taping was this.
Yeah. Sheer chaos.
Yeah. Kristin.
Yes.
Gaze, if you dare, into the abyss. And by abyss, I mean crystal ball. And tell me, please, if you find that it stares back into you.
Kristin's crystal ball, she can see it all. What's coming down the pike, I'm sure she'll get it right.
Here we are.
So what do you think?
What do I think about what?
What's in your... sorry, what does your crystal ball think?
Wow, why are you being such a smug bitch about my crystal ball? The fuck? Okay.
I don't know.
Cecilia, I'm answering. This is a live episode, which means you get to ask the crystal ball the questions you would like to know. Cecilia wants to know, will we ever see the Eves again? The crystal ball says, absolutely not. They're gone. Done. No more Eves.
They're too smart for all that.
Christine wants to know if we think that there will be more clones. Me and my crystal ball, if we think that there will be more clones in the X-Files. This is a really good question, and you'd think that the crystal ball would say yes, but I actually asked the crystal ball the same question, and it said no.
Okay.
This is it. Clones, done.
Fascinating. You heard it here first.
Susan wants to know if we will see cows, the intersection of cows and the paranormal again. 1,000,000% yes. There are so many cows in this crystal ball, you don't even know.
This is cows running. Trotting through a field.
Meredith wants to know, will the show ever deal with vampires? And I really want them to. They probably will, because this show is 147 seasons long. So I imagine that at some point they'll just have to give into it. But this episode deeply feels like they will never go there, because
it's if not now, when?
Right. No one, 2 puncture wounds in the neck, exsanguination, and no one says the word vampire. It feels... Wild. So my crystal ball suggests there's a teeny tiny little vampire in the corner. I think we might get something. And then the question of Deep Throat. Will we see Deep Throat again? Yes, we will. This is not part of... Do you have questions for the crystal ball?
Why would I get in the way of all this?
Okay. In Fallen Angel, I said that even though Deep Throat has been thrown under the bus by the writers, like
character assassination,
my Deep Throat, I don't believe yet that his keep your enemies closer is actually in reference to Mulder. I still feel that way, especially with this, because I still don't understand why he would even get involved in this at all. It literally has nothing to do with aliens, unless, like Jenny said, there are exsanguinating aliens also at play. Oh, it looks like I also saw something earlier in my crystal ball that I was really sad about.
And what was that?
They aren't gonna kiss in season 1.
Okay.
I'm so upset about it. My crystal ball showed it to me and I was like, stop it. But I don't think they're gonna kiss this season.
Okay.
And then I'm just gonna bleed over into LaToya's question for me, which is not a crystal ball question, but it is related to Deep Throat, which is why do you think that Mulder trusts Deep Throat, not his partner, over Scully, who is his partner? Is it because he enables Mulder's fixation in a way that Scully does not? Or is it a daddy issue? LaToya says that she feels like it is a daddy issue in this episode.
Cool.
I agree. I think that actually the first question is really astute. I think like clearly you want to spend time with the guy who's telling you that everything that you think is true is true. And clearly you also want to hang out with the hot lady who says it's not. Like Mulder really has a great situation.
He's got it all.
He's got it all. So that's, I think, everything for my crystal ball. Just so you know, you can now ask your questions to the crystal ball at any point by emailing crystalball@bufferingcast.com. I will answer your questions by looking into my amethyst crystal ball free of charge.
What a thrill.
Free of charge.
So exciting.
Yeah. You want to know if you should leave your boyfriend? Email me. You should. Leave that fucker. You know what I mean? Sorry, it's the crystal ball. It's not me.
Okay. All right. Woo. Well, Kristin, I would say that the status of this X-File, what else could it be but exsanguinated?
It is exsanguinated.
And,
we did it.
Yeah, we did it. Wow. Well, I'm Jenny Owen Youngs, and when I'm not out chasing down leads and following my hunches, and buying very blurry photographs of triangles hovering in the air for $20 from diner waitresses. I'm, just like kicking around, making music. In fact, Kristin, when this episode goes live, I will have just released the first single from my first proper full-length studio album in over a decade.
Holy shit.
You can learn more about that on my website, jennyowenyoungs.com, or by sneaking a little peek at my social media. I'm Jenny Owen Youngs, Jenny Owen Youngs on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, everywhere you could possibly look. There you will find me under the name Jenny Owen Youngs, hiding in plain sight. Come do it. Come say hi.
I'm Kristin Russo, and when I am not waiting for the epic release of a new album by Jenny Owen Youngs, I am often working with and for queer communities. You can learn more about the work that I do in those spaces on my website, KristinNoeline.com. That's KristinNoeline. You can also use that spelling to find me on Twitter, on Instagram, and kind of on TikTok.
Buffering, a rewatch adventure, is all over the internet. We are on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at BufferingCast. You can also head over to our website, which is bufferingcast.com. You can email us at hello@bufferingcast.com. Please, we want to hear from you. We're so lonely.
If you want to support our work, you can do that over on our Patreon, patreon.com/bufferingcast. All this, again, just on bufferingcast.com. Everything you need to know is there. Also, in case you friggin' missed it, patrons are hanging out with us this summer in a little theme called Hot Dad Summer, where we're watching Giles episodes with newly minted hot dad, Jenny Owen Youngs. Jenny, you're going to do a concert of Giles songs on July 15th. There's a lot of fun shit going on Patreon, so come, join us.
Please. This episode was produced by Kristin Russo, Jenny Owen Youngs, and LaToya Ferguson, with support from our consultant, Mackenzie McDade. It was edited by John Mark Nelson. And till next time, the pod is daddy.
Hi, I'm Dana Schwartz, and this is Rise or Die, the official companion podcast for Peacock's original series, Those About to Die. On this podcast, I go behind the scenes with the show's cast and creators to learn how they brought their brutal vision of Rome to life. I talked to acclaimed director and executive producer Roland Emmerich.
When I saw the first race, I was like giddy.
Actor Ewan Ryan.
For an actor, that's a dream, although you do get a lot of sand in your sandals.
And so many more.
You helped summon those ghosts back onto that stage. Every day when I went to set, I was giggling about what I saw.
I think it's going to be a breathtaking thing.
People will freak out.
Rise or Die launches on July 18th. Watch or listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi, I'm Jennifer, a co-founder of the Go Kid Go Network. At Go Kid Go, putting kids first is at the heart of every show that we produce. That's why we're so excited to introduce a brand new show to our network called The Search for the Silver Lining, a fantasy adventure series about a spirited young girl named Isla who time travels to the mythical land of Camelot. During her journey, Isla meets new friends, including King Arthur and his Knights of the Round Table, and learns valuable life lessons with every quest, sword fight, and dragon ride. Positive and uplifting stories remind us all about the importance of kindness, friendship, honesty, and positivity. Join me and an all-star cast of actors including Liam Neeson, Emily Blunt, Kristen Bell, Chris Hemsworth, among many others, in welcoming the Search for the Silver Lining podcast to the Go Kid Go Network by listening today. Look for the Search for the Silver Lining on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts.